It always gets weird here.
No, just having a conversation, you know?
Yeah. So today we have my friend Kierra Lanice. She is celebrity makeup artist / beauty educator / content creator. And we're excited to have you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be a part of this.
Welcome to the 517 Capital City Podcast with your hosts, local professional photographer Natasha Daniels and 517's real estate expert, Kat Gandolfo.
Why don't you tell our listeners a little about you and how you got started?
Yeah, so as stated, I'm Kierra Lanice. I'm a celebrity makeup artist, and I specialize in beauty, editorial, and red carpet. I've been doing this makes 12 years now. I started working with celebrities, though, in 2015. And so it's been a really interesting journey, but I really started when I was young. I was in high school, I went to Sexton, and I was doing hair and makeup in the bathrooms. I just always wanted to be in fashion and in beauty. And so I used to sew and design my own clothes and, have my first business, turning people's bootcut jeans into skinny jeans because that was the new craze. And so just always wanting to be in fashion and beauty, just not sure in what capacity. I ended up going to Douglas J. Aveda, and yeah, I ended up moving to Houston, which was not a part of my plan. I wanted to go to design school in Los Angeles, but took a totally different route. Moved to Houston to assist my aunt and uncle in ministry. Completely changed my life. But it's interesting because my career in makeup actually took off in Los Angeles while I was still living in Houston. And so very interesting how that happened. I ended up getting a contract with, at the time they were Viacom, but now they're Paramount, and so they own BET, MTV, VH1, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, etc. And I've been with them since 2015. And so, just a lot of things have happened between then, but I'm really grateful that I'm back here in Lansing as my home base. I still have a place in LA, so I'm back and forth there now, but yeah, it's been fun.
That is so cool. Before we got on here, you were mentioning that one of the reasons that you enjoy your job is you don't get starstruck, and you can really connect. Would you tell a little bit more about that so listeners can hear, because that was really fascinating.
Yeah, so I am grateful that I work with celebrity clients, but I don't get starstruck because they're everyday people. They just have a larger platform and larger bank account, right?
Of course, yeah.
But I don't take it lightly that they trust me in those safe spaces. So as a makeup artist, I'm with them in the most vulnerable and stripped down positions. They're usually in their home, which not everybody's inviting people to their homes, or I'm in their hotel rooms. And so I'm working with not just their brand, I'm working with the person. So for instance, my client Rhapsody, I'm not working with Rhapsody when I'm working with her, I'm working with Marlena. And so she's being, just herself. She doesn't have to put on, she doesn't have to, she's, great on and off camera, on and off stage, but I don't take it lightly that they trust me in those safe and sacred spaces. And so I think that's one of the reasons they keep me coming back, because I trust them for trusting me, but then it also brings the obligation to serve because I'm in the service business.
They appreciate that you respect their vulnerability.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine having that level of, just attention that comes to my brand, and then having someone in my home where, if they were starstruck and having to worry about whether they're keeping my secrets or my best interests, or if they're going to go and blab about how I have, a lazy left eye, and you should see it when she's, just being normal and not worrying about it, which I really do have a lazy left eye, but I'm legally blind in it, so that had always been a huge insecurity. I would never look at people in the face, so having friends and people like you in my life that I can be vulnerable with and share that. And I think also at my age, I just kind of don't care so much about what people think about me anymore. But knowing that you value and respect somebody's vulnerability, that I definitely would see how that's, important to you and to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you also have to think about social media, right? They're literally people paying or getting paid rather by TMZ to leak information that's private And I would never put one of my clients, or anyone for that matter, in that kind of compromising position, offer money. Like, because what's that gonna do for you? I wouldn't even be able to live with myself knowing that I, told private information, or like I have to think about I'm in these spaces where they might be brainstorming or rehearsing new music that is unreleased, or like I'm grateful that they trust me with that, because who am I,
Yeah.
And I would never want to ruin that.
Yeah.
That's pretty beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an amazing asset to have and just a characteristic to have. So
Thank you.
that's awesome. So how do you juggle celebrity artist, beauty educator, and content creator, all the things that you do, because you're just, hats off to you, amazing. But how do you juggle all of that and life and all of the things?
Ooh, I think mental health is very important. I'll say that. And that I'm always going to be a huge advocate for mental health. And so if it wasn't for my faith and my therapist, I don't know how I'd be able to do this. For instance, I've traveled every other week since March. And so like that alone is difficult, And so when it comes to just balancing all of the things, I'm not saying that life is all peachy keen and glittery. They say everything that glitters isn't gold, and that's real. Life still happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being intentional about my mental health and being intentional about keeping my peace has been a really big priority for me. That hasn't always been the case, but now, especially as I've gotten older, it's like, no, I have to do what is going to keep me mentally sane by any means necessary, So taking that extra time to wake up in the morning to pray, taking that extra time to just sit in solitude, just sit in silence and not always feel the need to fill up empty space with noise. And being mindful of the times where if I do have a little downtime, not to just scroll, right? Mm-hmm. Because, it happens to the best of us. Or waking up first thing in the morning, the first thing we do is scroll, And so being intentional about changing my daily habits have helped me to navigate all these hacks so that I don't feel like I'm overexerting or overextending myself. And then when I do find that I am, for whatever reason, listening to my body and sitting down, taking that break and truly resting, like not just sleeping, but actually resting. Yeah. That's been really big for me.
Thank you for sharing that with us, because I think that is something that we see too many people are too afraid to, one, admit that you can get overwhelmed and you need help and you need to slow down and you need to take, go back to faith or go to therapy. And I know, number two, it can be hard to get help.
Yeah.
So I think the more people that are willing to talk about what they've gone through and how they cope with a hard situation, the more it makes it okay for other people to do the same thing.
Absolutely. I don't ever want for mental health, especially with the platforms that I have, like for that to be a taboo subject. It's like, no, I'm very clear.
Yeah.
Right? Like I need Jesus and a therapist.
Right. Like, hey, how are you today? Well, do you really want to go?
Right.
Like, because I'm willing to share it, and it's okay to not be okay. Like, I, again, am a huge, advocate for mental health, and so is Kat, and we both are ADHD sisters. So we go a mile a minute. And when you said filling silence with noise, there are so many more times now, especially since my diagnosis of ADHD, that I drive a car with nothing on. And it's like, and I can't tell you enough how, like, peaceful that is.
Yeah.
And I don't even hear the cars going by me. Like, it's just silent.
Yeah. If it was untamed, my phone would be going off all day long, and I would be on the phone literally 24 hours a day. My phone is always going off. Somebody always needs something, and it's gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to set hours of operation, not even for my business, but for me, because if it's not one thing, it's another, and it's okay to say, like, I don't have capacity, whether that means, I can't listen to someone dump whatever they're dealing with in that moment. That's not to say that I don't care about them. It's just like, no, if I am already at my peak, then hey, can I have a moment? Like, can we discuss this another time? Because I don't have capacity. And that's been something that I had to be okay with and give my own self permission to say, you don't have capacity, and that's all right. You know, because they'll be okay. Like, it's okay if I don't answer the phone this time. It's okay if I don't respond to that text right now. Like, set those boundaries. And, you know, when you set boundaries and you have peace within yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself for your friends or for your business and etc.
And your family and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so not changing gears too much, but we do know that you're really active in the community and you would do a lot to help. Will you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, so community involvement is super important to me. Marcus and I, we do an event called Cocktails and Co-working, and it's very casual, but it's crazy how it's grown. It's just a really organic event where we pick a local, space, and we have people just come in, and they might bring their laptops or whatever. We have cocktails, and we're literally co-working. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes there might be 5 people, sometimes there might be 30. But usually they're all business owners or creatives or just people who need that safe space to just get away, and so that's something that I do. I'm also on the Thought Leadership Council for AARP of Michigan as a millennial ambassador, and so being able to have those conversations with people that are chronologically older than me or more mature than me and tell them my perspective. And so being able to do things like that, I really love being with AARP because, one, you think it's 55 and up, and it's like, no, you can get a membership as early as 12 years old.
And so partner's 18.
I've been getting AARP stuff for so long, and I've been offended this whole time.
No,
so
don't be offended.
Okay.
No, do not be offended. It's so great. There's so many different events that they have, and I love that they give me the freedom to be myself. And so they might have me speaking at events. I've done news segments and commercials where I'm actually like doing makeup on, women that are 55 plus. And so it's really great that I can give back and my voice is heard and they actually care about what I want to do. And so it's not that they're telling me what to do. It's like, no, what do you do and how do you want to serve? And so I love being able to have that freedom and autonomy. We do that as well as I do mentor and give back to the local schools, and so I do speaking engagements and like a mentorship program with the local Lansing School District, talking about inner and external beauty. And so those are just a few of the things that I do that keep me grounded.
It is so wonderful. Okay, so everybody's gonna want to know. You're gonna love this question. How do we follow you, find you, track you, stalk you?
Yeah, so if you ever want to find me, my name is Kierra Lanice, so it's Kierralanice. That is my Instagram, that's my TikTok, my website, my everything. You can literally Google search my name and you'll see countless magazine articles and news features and all the things.
That's awesome. So go check her out and follow her.
Yes. So one last question, because we decided that ending with a laugh or, giggles is always fun. Who is your absolute, just like, dream client?
Ooh, okay.
Who you got on your bucket list?
So here's the thing. And I know nothing about astrology or zodiacs, but I am a Virgo, and I have been told that we are like very by the box, by the book, OCD even. I have a spreadsheet. I call it my client manifesto, and I have a spreadsheet that has like their names, what their social media is, their management, if I ever find it, who's their publicist, if I've ever reached out to them and like pitched to them, what was their response, it's very organized. And so on that list, my top people right now, and it changes, but my top people who have probably been there for several years, Yara Shahidi, Issa Rae, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Sofia Vergara. I think those are some of my top people. There's top 5 on the list right now.
You heard her. She's ready for you. Just give her a call.
Yeah, just give her a call.
Call me.
You'll be glad you did.
And I will say too, though, someone that was on that list was Big Gretch. She was on that list, and I actually tweeted about it back when she got elected. I was actually living in Houston at the time. That one day I wanted to work with Governor Whitmer, and now I worked with her as well.
Yep, I've seen that. So is there, one last question, is there one person that you've not necessarily been starstruck about, but just been like, dang, this is cool that I'm in the same room with them?
Yeah, so 2021, I was at the BET Awards, and my client was actually performing. She was doing a lifetime tribute to Queen Latifah, who had won that award. So Queen Latifah, for one, because I'm obsessed with Dana Owens, okay? But it dawned on me when I was backstage, I saw Naomi Campbell walk by, and I was like, wow, I'm breathing the same air as her in this moment. That just...
I'm breathing the same germs.
That was like a huge moment for me because, you know, she's iconic. She was one of the original supermodels, like first ever. And so, yeah, to be in that same room with her, even though I didn't actually meet her.
So beautiful.
Stunning.
Yes.
I mean, her walk is iconic. I was just watching her, you know, this past season for New York Fashion Week. Like, she has still got it and is doing everything. Right? Who can do it better than the iconic, the mother, Naomi Campbell?
No. That's a beautiful ending right there. And on that.